Chapter 7. Energy, Sound, Frequency. Energy, Sound, Frequency, Music. Airlam. Every level, strata, and cubic space-time area of this universe is energetic frequency. There is nothing in existence that is not composed of energy frequency, and in turn composed of vibrational field. The speed frequency at which energy is vibrating is the only indicator of what that energy will be manifested into or out of for the experience of the souls or soul who is coming into direct contact with and within it. Every experience that you will ever have had in your incarnation upon this earth is at its most base element an energetic frequency experience. Because of this scientific and spiritual truth, energy frequency in all of its forms is completely and utterly at the will of any and every sentient being that it comes into contact with. You might ask, if that is true, who willed an asteroid belt or black hole into being? Those manifestations would have been intended by the will of the Creator God initially upon inception of the universe. Plainly stated, energy frequency and its control and flow and congelation into form is completely at your will and under your control in your life at all times, whether you choose to embrace that fact or not. Should you determine that this is not a truth that you can accept, you will simply be buffeted by the energy frequency of those around you who may or may not have this knowledge or belief as well. You can, should you so determine, literally be a feather in a veritable sea of rolling energy, or you can decide that you will not be a loose and aimless floater within the system of scientific and spiritual reality that is the ever-present energetic and gravitational frequency field in which we all reside. If you are at all sensitive to the energy frequency fields around you, you will be able to think in your mind's eye to a time when you would have entered a room and immediately sensed the people, space, feeling, and or energy frequency of that space. Most humans at this point only sense the energy frequency that is around them within approximately a 2-foot circle of where they stand, sit, or locate their bodies. Because of this lack of outward experience with the energetic frequency field, they assume that what they can see, smell, feel, or hear is all that there is. This is a very young and limited view of the reality of our universe. There are at this time very many species living in our universe who literally can sense, see, hear, and experience realms and worlds that may be physically separate from them by light years or levels of time-space frequency. This is because these species understand that due to the scientific and spiritual nature of energy frequency, magnetism, and the DMF, no location in time and space is ever truly close to you. You may know this in its practice as remote viewing or astral travel. From a human standpoint, it is time to understand that the ability to sense energy and frequency in a very real and visceral way is an evolutionary process that your brain is undergoing. This unfolding ability through your frontal cortex or faith tether is completely natural and normal. It is time on your planet for this knowledge to be understood and evolved both physically and spiritually. This is a tool that humans were created to embrace and use when the time was right for that growth. Now is that time. Trust and the connection. Only very few humans up to this point have had true knowledge of this ability or the knowledge of the nature of energy frequency in the universe. The religious and political machinations that have been put into place on Earth were set there specifically to subvert and hide this knowledge from humanity. A population of humans who truly understood how their soul and mind are connected to the actual movement and creative forces of energy frequency would be very difficult to control in a way that would be to the advantage of the controlling group. We will speak to the geopolitical nuances of that story in another chapter, but suffice it to say here that as a race on Earth, your true connection to energy frequency and your talents to move, mold, and create with it have been hidden from the knowledge of the whole up until now for the furtherance of the goals and desires of a very few human hybrid groups, the very top of your earthly pillars of control. You as a human were created to embrace and advance your mental and spiritual skills. The time of being controlled is well past, and evolution is on your doorstep. Trust in the Creator God is a very integral part within the system of sensing and understanding the energy frequency field in which I, you, and every particle of the universe resides. It is not necessary to believe in the Creator God to access your natural and organic connection to energy frequency sensing and manifestation, but if a knowledge of the Creator God is accepted and embraced as the omnipoint of all energy frequency that exists, it is much easier for the newly awakened human to access his or her connection to the faith tether by which all energy organically must pass to and from the energetic manifestation field that I refer to as the DMF. Having a level of belief and faith in the system put in place by the Creator God enhances the overall feeling of support that we as souls enjoy, and therefore enables a relaxation and trust that energy frequency manifestation, healing organic transmutation matter is possible. I would liken it to learning how to ride a bicycle. One of the often unspoken but integral parts of this operation is that either a child has training wheels or a parent's hands on the handlebars, or a combination of both happens while learning the skill. Either or both of these safeguards is pivotal in that child feeling secure in and having faith in the process of learning the new skill. A conscious connection with the Creator God is the same kind of tool which is very helpful in learning and expanding this human ability and talent. The Creator God gave every human body and soul the ability to grow and evolve the gift of energy frequency sensing and manifestation. So acknowledging and being grateful for the Creator God who gave you these gifts and opportunities simply enhances the growth potential exponentially. Energy sensing and manifestation types: general, situational, energetic sensing, and netting. General, situational energy sensing, and what I will call netting, is on its face very simple and should be employed by all humans all of the time. By this I mean that the general resting state of all humans should be in sensing the changing and subtle energies around them. Many humans already access this without even realizing that they are doing it. This skill, however, can and needs to be honed, acknowledged, and accepted at this time as an evolving trait for humanity on your planet. As an example of what this might look like in your life right now, have you ever been walking down the street and crossed over because of a feeling you get about the person walking toward you? Have you ever decided at the last minute to make changes in travel plans or taken a job that paid less money because you felt like it was the better thing to do? Have you experienced meeting a complete stranger and felt an immediate connection with them, and they end up being an integral part of your life? Have you ever made a change in the direction of your life because of a gut feeling rather than logic? Have you ever avoided another person because you don't feel good around them? Have you ever had the sense that every time you are around certain people or places, you come away exhausted or conversely uplifted? Have you ever traveled to a location on Earth and felt completely at ease, comfortable, and at home, even though you may have never been there before? Have you ever met a stranger and wished you could spend more time with them simply because they make you feel good? Do you ever have dreams in which you are somewhere living a life, even on some other planet, or in a strange city which feels familiar to you, but you have no recollection of how that can be? These are all examples, and I could go on, of your body and soul using your energetic frequency sensing mechanism. Take into consideration as well that I am not implying that you are constantly sensing the negative in other people, situations, or locations. I'm simply telling you that your soul will constantly give you energetic frequency feedback on everything you do, every person you come into contact with, and every possibility outcome that is presenting itself within your lifetime. Should you have a friend who you love, but who is also energetically constantly sucking your energy away, you may find yourself exhausted by their presence. This does not mean that you avoid them. It simply means that your energy frequency sensing ability is there to help you determine whether your own energy frequency field or your own energy frequency stores on a certain day are willing and able to allow that person to siphon from you what they need or what you are willing and able to give. Energy frequency is constantly in ebb and flow from person to person, location to location, and situation to situation. Keeping this in mind will help you to understand why you might visit a certain place on the planet or city, and even though you should feel like a stranger in that location, you may not, because it most likely shares your energy frequency field and it's very compatible with that location and is therefore refreshed by that place. Some human souls are drawn to oceans, some to mountains, some to deserts or jungles. The resonance of those places will be in keeping with the soul's own resonance, and this is why being able to read and sense your own energy frequency needs, as well as those around you, is so critical at this time. In the next 15 to 28 years, humanity on Earth will have full knowledge of the immensity of this universe and understand fully that there are billions of habitable planets upon which organic humans or cousins thereof reside. This enlightening knowledge will suddenly open up the opportunity, literally, for humans to decide to travel and relocate to these other planets. If you can extrapolate what this means for Earth humans, it means that you may feel drawn to relocate to some other solar system, some other planet, which actually enhances and is symbiotic with your own soul's energy field frequency. This is becoming a possibility, and thus the need for your species' evolution at this time. Again, I wish to stress the point that should you sense energy coming from a person, situation, location, or activity that brings the fear sensation to your physical body, it does not mean that there is nothing but negativity there. It simply means that it is not the right situation, person, environment, or location for you. The stronger the positive or negative feeling you have in your body through the sensing, the more important it is to listen to it. When you begin to run your choices daily through the sensing filter, you will see that your decisions begin to move you forward in what can only be described as your highest good. This is the lesson of this tool. The more adept you become at giving attention to and trusting your energetic frequency senses, the less difficulty you will encounter in creating your life and making good choices for your possibility arc with the Creator God. When I use the word difficulty, I do not mean in the basest sense of the word, as in doing something wrong. I mean that the sole purpose for your time on Earth in this incarnation is to begin to learn how to steer your own life path in such a way that you do not have to keep experiencing over and over those situations that are painful to yourself and others. Should you be, in this lifetime, more able to use your energy frequency sensing tools, you may decide not to date that woman who will ultimately make you once again go through a pain in a relationship regarding addiction. You may avoid a life of missed opportunities by moving to a place that feels right to you instead of staying in your city of birth to please others. Avoiding those painful mistakes in experience and judgment is much, much easier if you are fully engaged with your energetic frequency sensing mechanism. Faith in yourself and faith in the Creator God and the system of energy in which we all reside is the best strengthener that you can have for enhancing your sensing tools. Your energy frequency sensing system is at once linked to your physical endocrine system as well as your third eye chakra and your soul's connection with the Creator God. There is no time-space frequency signature between the sensing and the knowing. This process is instantaneous and in past millennia has been fully the domain of the reptile brain. At this point in the physical history of humans, the reptile brain is giving way to the higher portions of the frontal cortex in this implementation. As the reptile brain gives this piece of its responsibility to the frontal cortex is lighting up and energizing locations of itself that have until now lain dormant, and the reptile brain is expanding its ability to keep the body's system safe and running cleanly. There is no difficulty with this transition, and this ability to evolve was genetically dormant and waiting for this particular time in organic human history. Should the human species on Earth find itself surviving to this specific history point in the universe, bravo! You have arrived at this point in universal history. This evolution will continue and is unfolding on the earth plane at this time, should humanity accept it or not. Should a human fully reject these inner changes in him or herself, there will simply be a feeling of being overwhelmed and exhausted. There is no judgment or retaliation should a human ignore or refuse to accept these changes within themselves. I will stretch to say that as the whole of humanity on earth shifts in this awareness, those who literally refuse to see the change will suffer within themselves. An inner evolution is a process which happens to every species in the universe and is a gift not to be struggled against. Should that be your will, however, you will be allowed to struggle. The organics and genetics that surround energy frequency sensing for species is completely linked with that species' ability in the areas of telepathy, telekinesis, frequency movement, astral travel, frequency toning, that is also musical toning. I would also insert here the idea that humans' obsession with the electronic devices at this time is literally and figuratively overriding the ability for many to sense this change within themselves. I would advise that every human take 24-hour respites from any kind of electric device in order to release those energies and better hear, feel, and assimilate the natural evolution that is in process. To be quiet within oneself and listen for the great Creator God is a more powerful tool than any that humankind has ever invented. The abilities listed above are actually completely natural in our universe, and many, if not most, long-lived species will have embraced these inherent genetic qualities and accept them as freely as a human on earth accepts that seeing, smelling, and feeling are all just givens in your worldview. There is a time coming upon earth in the next 100 to 187 earth years when these new abilities will weave themselves into the human experience and be taken out beyond the shores of the planet with you. I am honored to be able to bring some of this knowledge to your species now. You were seeded by the Creator God originally and then given a leg up in the evolutionary process prior to the last ice age. In that prior time, the genetics for full evolution were given to you as a part of a treaty which was conducted by the Toshal species, who engineered your speedy evolution along with the higher councils of the Creator God. The agreement was loosely that your species was to be given the full array of possible genetics to incorporate yourselves into the universal community of species adequately and peacefully. The floods and ice age would be allowed to wipe clean the planet of the off-world others who had come and meddled with the Creator God's plans, leaving some behind to pay for the unsanctioned creation of the new human species. And should any groups of you survive and flourish on your own at this point, you would then and only then be allowed to begin an evolution into your full and functioning selves as universal beings. That time is now. You have stepped across the threshold of the timeline, and the Creator God's agreement must be allowed to stand. You as a species now have the right and complete free will to do, be, and create whatever you have the will to. Your genetic inheritance from the Creator God is now waking up and in full accordance with the birth of Earth's human species. I will speak of the treaty and its ultimate brokenness in the Off-World Others chapter of this book. Suffice it to say that the original treaty that was agreed upon by those off-world species on the seeding piece of Earth human genetics was broken by those off-world species, and thus the cleansing of the Earth. You as a species are now free from that timeline treaty and fully able to move forward as the Creator God initially intended. Energy as sound frequency. The secondary and most important piece of the energy frequency reality is that energy, all energy, has sound frequency. Humans believe that there is a finite sound frequency arc by which all sound is bound within the physics. This belief will be undone publicly in the next 25 years of Earth's history. Energy in all of its forms has an infinite number of sound frequencies and qualities. At energy's highest sound frequencies, the waves are so highly charged that they coalesce into the very background vibration of the universe. At energy's very lowest sound waves, particles coalesce in deep and infinitely continuing waves which may arc over uncountable distances of space-time, years out to the edges of the universal plane, and ultimately enmesh themselves back into the dark matter fabric. Humans only hear a very minuscule swath of the never-ending sound of the energetic universe. Humanity's scientific equipment at this point only sense a very small arc or window, if you will, into the energetic frequency realm. It should be stated, however, that sound energy frequency is the powerful left hand of the DMF in manifestation. Energy frequency sound vibrational waves can be used to literally create matter, transmute matter, and relocate matter. Many species in your galaxy alone are able to use energy sound frequency as a tool to create, move, travel, and dissolve matter. Understanding that energy sound frequency can be used for this kind of manifestation is integral at this time of human evolution on Earth. Sound frequency as a tool. Energy sound frequency vibration is the tool of the dark matter fabric and intention. The DMF responds to the intention of a soul and begins to merge frequency in such a manner as to create that which the attention or intention of the soul focuses upon. Depending on what the creation is intended to be, attention and intention may need to be held upon the DMF for larger increments of time, as time is experienced by the intender. This is why in ancient times on your planet there was a belief that objects could be sung into and out of existence. Enough skilled singers, chanters, could, with concerted attention, actually sing through vibration situations, objects, and creations into and out of being. The full understanding of energy sound frequency is simply that skill. Through frequency and the wielding of it, matter can be coalesced and broken down by way of the dark matter fabric. This ability was given to the human species on Earth through its DNA. The knowledge of this ability was fully suppressed by the systems put in place to control the future populations, that is, you, by the original renegade DNA manipulators or those off-world species. Tones, frequency, and sound can be used to heal organic matter. The same tones can be used to move objects through time and space. There are many species in your Milky Way galaxy who use tone frequency to move themselves and their spacefaring craft from timeline to timeline and solar system to solar system. Tone frequency was used millions of years ago for clean power on Earth by creating resonators, pyramids, stone circles, which trapped into the Schumann resonance of Earth, magnified it, and created energy. This knowledge is only now just coming back into the fringes of the scientific minds of your time. Energy sound frequency is the chosen energy of the universe. Music on your planet is another arena where Melissa would say that the machine has taken over what the frequencies and styles of music tones you hear. These frequencies are tightly controlled. By controlling the tones which resonate on the face of the planet, humanity can be kept in a particular state of being. When you listen to any piece of music, you are resonating with the signal which that music is sending to you. Whether you enjoy the sensation of listening or you don't, it is strictly in the vibration that you are receiving from the music. This being so, imagine the power that vibration, music, wields on your planet. Music in all of its forms can be transcendent. Musical vibration can and often does put you in a full physical contact with the vibrational codes that are much closer to that of the Creator God's vibration. Music can also block you from and separate you from your natural connection to the Creator God. Vibrational frequency is a paintbrush. The DMF is the paint, and your life is the canvas. Within certain and determined frequency combinations, the DMF responds and creates the energetic signature of what the vibrational combination is signifying. To simplify, should a human determine that they wanted to lift a car and move it down the street, it is completely possible for one humanoid to engage in this activity successfully if they have full use of their ability to understand, wield, and activate the correct frequency, sound, vibration with their voice. In the same way that a human voice can shatter a glass goblet at certain known frequencies, objects can be moved within time, space, and the universal strata in any way the wielder of that frequency desires. This is a true universal law, and humanity on Earth is capable. This knowledge needs to come into the present known paradigm for the evolution of your species. With this knowledge will come great responsibility. In order for your intention and use of frequency, sound, vibration to impact the DMF for result, The DMF uses gravity. With the use of mechanically or organically created frequency sound vibration fields, gravity is tuned, if you will, to a certain mode or stance. Once enough gravitational matter is tuned to that frequency, the DMF will begin to coalesce into the substance that the gravity's field body has been tuned to. If a human can, by vocalizing, drumming, or tuning by way of electromagnetic devices, maintain a certain frequency into the DMF, thereby merging and mobilizing the gravity within it, a skyscraper could be raised and moved to any location. Objects, planets, people, anything really can become visible, invisible, moved, traveled, or created from nothing across the time-space strata. In this way, Jesus could feed thousands from a few fish. When gravity is activated with concentrated intention and vibrational force within the DMF, manifestation is guaranteed. Rain can be manifested in the desert by indigenous people chanting. You can find the perfect parking spot just where you need it. You have the full ability to change your frequency sound vibration in ways that either help or harm you and those around you in your life as you are right now. Every day you choose either consciously or unconsciously what and how your general frequency will be. And thus you choose. Humans can spontaneously heal, transform, and grow within this system. Your thoughts, your actions, your lack thereof, all have vibrational qualities, or sounds, if you like. This is true whether you become conscious of that fact or not. Should you actually study and begin to use frequency sound vibration to your growth and advantage, the changes in your daily life will be substantial, almost immediate, and put you more fully on the path that you have incarnated to fulfill in your lifetime. You need not be a musician in order to learn and integrate this knowledge. However, music is a powerful tool for growth, expansion, or oppression, and is used by your control sectors to keep humanity as a whole separate from this knowledge and heritage. It is no mistake or accident that in 1939, Joseph Goebbels determined that the Nazis pushed for the arbitrary A equals 440 standard, which is disharmonic vis-a-vis the physioacoustic laws of creation governing reality. This tuning, which is now used worldwide on your planet, literally creates a dissonance, which completely inhibits the creative force of frequency sound harmonics, which humans need in order to connect with and use the dark matter fabric and gravity. Your species have been fully cut off from the use of your gifts and evolution by the systematic cutting off of your ability to connect with the Creator God and the gift of creation manifestation that you were given. This is why on your planet now, music and frequency is being controlled, sold, created, and doled out in such a ruthless and processed way. You are meant to forget who you are, and the easiest and most wholesale way to disconnect you from your memory and knowledge of who and what you are is through frequency, sound, vibration, and the control of those. Sound frequency is so powerful a manifestation, travel, and creation tool that there are whole planets that are made up mostly of water. These planets are inhabited by humanoids living on and caring for hundreds of islands similar to the Hawaiian, Fijian, and Caribbean islands on Earth. These humanoid species are fully engaged upon planets like these by where the whole of civilization spends the bulk of its time, creating, healing, growth, inception, and high-end vibrational tones which ring and are sent like a bell toll from their oceans out into our universe. The planet's inhabitants are singularly involved in sending frequency out into our universe from their water planets in order to uplift whole sections of the strata of the universe in which they reside. This tool, which most of humankind on Earth is completely unaware of, is at work in your life as I speak.